Hello and welcome. In the previous video, we have done the analysis of this code, and in this video, we are going to refactor this code so that we can extract few logics which are unrelated to palindrome counter, and we are going to extract those logic to different classes so that our architecture follows SRP. So let's get started. So first logic is this, which splits the sentence into words. So we need to put this into a different class. So let's create a different class over here, and I'll call this as sentence splitter. And we can have a split method over here, which takes the sentence and contains the same logic of splitting it to words. And it should return array of strings. And we are done. So we have extracted this piece away from the palindrome counter. So this is done. And now what we need to do is we identified this code snippet also. We need to take this also out of palindrome counter. So we can create a different class for this, whose name can be palindrome checker. And we can have a method is palindrome. Under this, it should return a boolean. And that should accept a word. And after that, it should contain pretty much the same logic as we have here. And we should actually have equals over here. I just put equals ignore case in the previous slide to show that when a change in requirement happens, and if that change says that we have to find the palindrome without bothering about the case sensitivity, and then you would need to have equals ignore case. But right now, if you go with the original requirement, we should just have equals over here and not equals ignore case. Okay. So now we have extracted the logics in different classes, and now we need to put and use the sentence splitter and the palindrome checker which we have created, instead of palindrome counter doing all these things by itself, right? So now palindrome counter, as I already told you, should contain the core logic of counting the palindrome words. It should delegate all other responsibilities to different classes, like to sentence splitter and to palindrome checker. So the logic of actually counting the palindrome word is dependent on the logic which is contained by sentence splitter and palindrome checker now. So basically palindrome counter is dependent on sentence splitter and is also dependent on palindrome checker in order to carry out its core responsibility, or in order to carry out its core logic. So we should actually not instantiate sentence splitter and palindrome checker and use it under the count method. We should actually have sentence splitter and palindrome checker as dependencies in palindrome counter. So let's go ahead and create those dependencies. And we can have a constructor which accepts sentence splitter and palindrome checker and instantiates these dependencies. So now we have got the dependencies in place. Now what we can do is, when we have to split the sentence to words, we shall call sentence splitter split method and pass the sentence to it. And when we have to check whether a word is palindrome or not, then we should use this palindrome checker and call the method is palindrome and pass in the words over there. And then we can get rid of this method here. So our code is now pretty much ready. Now what we need to do is we need to come over here in the demo, and now that we know that palindrome counter has got dependencies on sentence splitter and palindrome checker. So while instantiating this palindrome counter, we should supply its dependencies as well. So I'll just instantiate sentence splitter and palindrome checker and supply dependencies to palindrome counter like this, and everything else remains the same. So if I run this code, I am getting the desired result. I'm getting that the number of palindrome word is 2, right? Which is one is Nitin and the other one is A. So basically now in this overall architecture that you see, all the classes have got single responsibilities and we are following SRP. So each class right now does only one thing, performs only one logic. And now each class has got a single reason to change. Thank you very much.